I would like to introduce yourself. So, hello everyone. A very good evening to you all of you. I am Aman, official host of LinkedIn Local. So, it's my pleasure and privilege on behalf of LinkedIn Local community to welcome you here today. Before we begin with today's session, I would like to introduce to you our trainer, Mr. Pawan Lalwani. Mr. Pawan sir has over 9+ years of work experience as a corporate trainer and consultant. He has trained at various levels from fresher to lateral. He has worked as a trainer, consultant, tester, team leader with various MNCs. He possesses good knowledge of analyzing and visualizing data with different BI tools. He has a specialization in business intelligence tools like Tableau, Power BI, Yellowfin BI, QLink View Designer. He has worked with various government and private organizations of India and abroad like Government of Kaigali, AIA, BNP Paribas, Konkrans, Equity Bank, Ministry of Transport and Communication, The Trusted Source, RAC Bank, IBM, HSBC, Bajaj Finserv, L'Oreal India Private Limited, ITC, Reliance, Accenture, Unitech, Cognizant, Mahindra, Wipro, Morgan Stanley, and many more. So, I would request you to start this session.
Great. Okay, sorry. I hope it's audible now, everyone.
Yes, sir,
Yeah, okay. Yes,
I can
yes.
hear you.
Yeah, sure, sure. Thank you, Aman. Thank you for introducing. Hi, good evening, everyone. I hope you're doing well in this crisis. And let's see, let's start the topic here. You know about me, Aman has introduced, so I'll skip that part. And let's come to the topic here. This training would be for advanced Excel Power Query. Power Query is a ETL tool which is inbuilt in Microsoft Excel from 2016 version onwards. So 2016, 2019 Excel people are using, they don't have to install separately. Okay, we'll be getting that here. This training would be 99% practical, just 1% theoretical. So whatever topics we have given to you will be shown practically, or whatever questions you ask will be shown practically. So these are the topics. These are the four main topics I want to show you today. Introduction to Power Query. Let's see how to work on 99 functions in Power Query, and then how to use VLOOKUP in Power Query, and then appending 100 files. Once you learn Power Query, this is just 2 hours, not enough time. But if you learn Power Query, you'll be saving 70% of your daily routine time. 70. If you're working on Excel and if you migrate to Power Query, 70% time you'll be saving. Okay, let's start. So I'll do every topic for 2 times. First time I'll do it. Second time you can follow along. Right. The first topic we have introduction to Power Query, and I'll be introducing you by giving an example using some text functions. So I'll open this file. You have received that file. So one second. Right. So that's a file text function. These are 6, 7 files which I have. I'll be showing you all the examples here. So first one is text functions. Now Power Query supports 99 functions by button click, 800 functions where you can type it. So since it's an introduction video, I'll show you button clicks, 99 functions. So see, the question here is, I have some data set which is not clean. My job is to clean the data and present it to my higher hierarchy manager or anyone else. I have 3 columns. I want to concatenate those 3 columns into one. I'll use a function in Excel, concatenate function. I have a column where the text is separated by some delimiters like hash and @. So it's a dirty data which I need to clean and represent. I have one more column where the city, state, and country are separated by comma. I want to separate into 3 different columns. Okay, so that's the question. So I'll be showing you without using keyboard, just using button clicks, how to get the answers. Okay, right. So I'll keep my cursor in the data right now and take into Power Query. Power Query is present here. Where is Power Query in Excel? Power Query is in the data tab and it starts from here till this location. So this entire tab is for Power Query. Okay, so I'll just keep my cursor in the data and then click on this button from table. Okay, from table. If I click on this from table, this data would be pulled into Power Query. This window is a Power Query editor window. Okay, so the name is difficult, name is little, but the functions are very easy. Okay, Power Query editor, and you see it's in Excel itself. Now the first question was how to concatenate three columns. So I'll select first three columns like this, first three columns. And if I want to concatenate, no using any function, no keyboard, just go to transform menu bar. And for next 5 to 10 minutes, I'll be focusing only on this text functions. After some time, we'll see all those number functions and then date functions. I am in the transform menu bar. And so transform menu bar, I'll select the option. If you see, this function is merge columns, this one, merge columns. So clicking on this merge columns, then it will ask me a few questions like you're merging the columns, but what should be the separator between them? I'll say the separator, it can be colon, comma, equals to, but in this case, we require separator as space. And a column name, I can give a good column name, let's say full name, and click on OK. So if you see, without using function, I have successfully concatenated three columns separated by space. Whatever things you're doing, it's getting recorded. Like in macros, in VBA, there are some code which is generated. Same way here in the front end, the steps are generated. Okay. And if you think you made a mistake, just click on this small delete button. It will go back. Let's do it again. So I'll select this three columns and click on merge columns, separator as space, and then full name. Click on OK. Concatenated three text. Next one, if you see the shipping address column, I want to split into three columns. Split column by delimiter. Split column by delimiter. And it is so smart that it identified what was the delimiter. So it found out that comma was the delimiter, and I'll just click on OK button, and those are separated into three columns. Here I can write the name as city, maybe state, and here, or I can write as place, city, or some name you can give it, state. So we have seen how to join three columns, how to split those into three different columns. If you observe, this last two columns have unwanted space. You see in the beginning, very small, but if you see, that's a space. Let's clear the space. If you want to clear the space, we use a function in Excel as trim. Here, I've selected those two columns and I'll just click on this format option, trim. And you see the text unwanted space have been removed here. Next one, let's talk about this text with delimiters. Carefully observe, the delimiter is hash and at the rate. Hash and at the rate. So if you want to, clean the data without using any functions, any coding, there are many methods. There are many methods. I'll show you the simplest one. Add column. Or let me talk about only function. Let's go a bit lengthy method, but first I'll separate text before hash, then text after at the rate. Okay, I'll just write it. First, I'll try to separate text before hash. Then I'll find out text after @, then text between those two delimiters, one by one. Lengthy steps, I know. Extract text before delimiter, and I'll type as hash. So when I click on OK button, and you see the existing column is getting transformed and the original data is going away. So I don't think this method should be used. So I'll delete this step. So carefully observe, this was in the transform tab. Actually, I want a separate column here. So I'll just click on add column. In add column also, you have some options like from text, from number, and from date. Okay, so these are like text functions, number functions, and date functions. So in both the menu bars, you have these options. So I'll click on add column, extract text before delimiter, and write as hash. I'll keep on doing it for next few steps. Extract text between delimiter, I'll write as hash and @. And lastly, I'll select the option text after delimiter, @. Okay. If you observe, I'm not using my keyboard, neither writing any functions. So I've got 3 separate columns. Now I can combine those 3 columns. If you remember, we have seen a function. So merge column is present in add column also. That means a 4th column would be created, which will give you the merge data. But why to create one more column? Instead of that, I can go to transform and click on merge columns. Merge columns separator as space, and I'll give the column name as full name 2. Why 2? Because already there's a full name column. Click on OK. And you see, I made a mistake, I guess. Yes. I'll delete the last step. I made a mistake. Actually, this column also was selected. So I should select 1, 2, and 3. 3 columns, merge columns, separator as space, and write as full name 2. Right. Now, if you see, it's a foolproof method of concatenating and see this data and see this data. So we have cleaned the data. I know it's the first time for you, so it will be, difficult to follow the steps, but trust me, it is just button clicks. After doing that, I think this column is no more required. So I can right click and remove that column. Yes. Your questions, please. Are you able to follow? Any doubts? Do you find easy or difficult? Are you awake?
Guys, if you have any question, please unmute your mouth, mic, and please ask your question with some.
Rightly said, it requires a little bit of practice.
Yeah.
For us. So, yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Okay, got it. Yes, Asta, you have to say something?
I know I'm clear about this concatenation part. I guess I'm a little bit doubtful in that delimiter step, but as I practice, I guess I'll be clear with it.
Yes. Are you looking for Power Query first time?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Right. Okay. So you want to practice right now? We'll do it. What do you say?
As it suits you, I'm fine. I can practice it later also. It's totally
okay, fine.
Yeah.
So I'll keep on continuing. You can see the videos later on, and you can practice it later on. Fine.
Yeah,
I'll
sure.
continue.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
So you're going to share the video?
Yes, I'll upload the video and I'll give the location.
Okay. Yeah,
Great.
that will do. Thank
Yeah, sure. Coming back, so this was text function, just to introduce you. But why should you go for Power Query? What is the reason? If you are interested in learning macros, or if you have heard about macros, then nowadays macros is outdated. People are going for Power Query. I'll tell you the reason. Once you clean this data, you can click on home menu bar and click on this close and load button. Close and load. Okay. If you have heard about ETL tool, ETL stands for extract, transform, and load. I have done the same thing. What I've done is, if you remember the first step, kept my cursor in the data, clicked on the from table. That means I'm extracting data from some location. Then I was trying to transform. I was just bombarding and transforming something I kept on doing here. So I was transforming, that means cleaning the data. After this cleaning data, I clicked on home and I was loading the data. I was loading the data, that is ETL, extract, transform, and load. Now, after I load this, what is the benefit? Why you should go for it? The reason is, the reason is, suppose tomorrow, if the data changes, okay, just a second. Um, Suppose I have this name as Siddharth, if I'm not wrong, Siddharth Das, and second name I have Divya Rani. Okay. These two names I have. Okay. If the data adds, modifies, deletes, or appends, anything, adding, deleting, modifying, appending, any 4, 5 options. In the new sheet where I've got the answer, and if you observe, there is no Siddharth Das and there is no Divya Rani. What you have to do is you have to just simply right click on any place and click on refresh. Whatever manual effort you're doing, it can be stopped and you can start using Power Query. This is just a starting example. ETL. I'll close this file and I'll save this file here. Text functions. Date functions are very important. You can find your age in just 2 button clicks. Age. I have created a file named as date functions. If someone can please write your date of birth in the chat window. Please write your date of birth in the chat window. I'll tell you how old are you. Yes. So meanwhile, I have 2 columns. One is order date and second is shipping date. Order date and shipping date. So date is a data type. I can say nothing else. I want to find out year, month, quarter, day, week, weekend, week of the year. Any question you ask related to date, you can get it quickly using button clicks. Okay. Let's say I'll write my date of birth here. So I'll write 3803 and 1996. Okay. That's my date of birth. No problem. So that's my date of birth. And if I want to find out what is my age, we'll find out quickly here. First of all, how to take this data in Power Query. Keep your cursor in the data menu bar, and you have to click on from table. Remember ETL, extract data. We are going to then transform from table. So this step will load the data in Power Query editor. It's a free tool. You don't have to pay anything. This data type, if you observe, it's a date and time. Because you see unnecessary time is coming, but it's a data type. I can say date and time. Why to get the time? We'll convert this both column names into date. And I'll just add a new step here. So adding a new step means it is creating one more step here. Also, I'll select and then add date and clear. Okay, that was changing data type. The question here is, I want to find out difference between shipping date and order date. Or I think let's find out the age first of all. So I'll just select the column, first column. And if I want to find out the age, add column menu bar. Carefully observe, this is disabled. Why? Because these are number. It only works for number data type. Here also few options are disabled because it's text. Now my job is to work on this date and time in Power Query. So only this option is enabled. Only this option is enabled. Let me click on this drop down and you see the first option is age. I'll click on age and this is my age in number of days. So I'm 8,782 days old. Okay. But I know nobody likes age in days. People want age in years. Like I'm 22, 25, 30 or 35-year old. So let's, as I said, 2-button click. That was the first button click. What is the second button click? Carefully observe. This is something different icon. This is a date icon. This icon is matching with this feature that is duration. And now this is disabled. So second button click is select duration and click on total years. So my age is 24. I'm just 24-year-old. Okay. And that's a decimal number, which is disturbing. And to remove the decimal, I can just change this data type as whole number. And I think I don't require this column anymore. I'll right click and remove that column. So that's my age. You and me know that this is 24 years. But if a new person is coming, he'll not come to know that whether it's the years or days or something. So what I'll do is I'll try to clear the doubt of the person who will watch this. I'll try to concatenate one more text as years. 24 space years. 28 space years. So I'll select the column, transform menu bar, add prefix, add suffix, transform menu bar, add suffix. I could have done in add column menu bar also add suffix, but I don't want to create one more column. Add column will create one more column. Transform will transform the existing column. So add suffix. I think I made a mistake. I'll just delete that. Add suffix and I'll type space Y capital years. Okay. So any new person comes, he'll come to know that age is 24 years. Now I'll just click on home, close and load. That's the data. So anyone, let's say Siddharth and Divya and Asta, Manish, please write your age in the chat window. Please write your date of birth and write something. Don't write your exact age, but write something. I want it to be interactive, Okay, so I've got the age, Divya 1906, 1912, 1996. So what I'll do is I'll add the age here, Control V. The first one is Divya's. Second one is Control C. Okay. 1312, 13/12/1996. 79 Siddharth, 2004, 2004, 1979. And Asta 01 is the month, right? 10/1996. Okay. So I've written your date of birth. Please see your date of birth and I'll just go to sheet 1. And here you'll come to know your age in this column itself. Right click and I'll just click on refresh. Remember, green color table. This is green color table is the output of Power Query. Green color by default. You can change the color, but by default green color. Right click, refresh. Please check whether it is correct. Yeah. So that's your age in just 2 button clicks. And the thing is, you add, delete, modify, or append. Anything you do in the source data, your target will change always. One more. This was just one function. 25 date functions we'll see. 25. Once again, I'll keep my cursor in the data. I'm in the new sheet right now. I'm in the date sheet, date 2 sheet. So I'll take this data in Power Query, data from table or range, and this is again, I'll change the data type to date, add a new step, date, and add a new step. Nothing required here. Now suppose let's start with the basic. I want to subtract here shipping date minus order date. You have to ignore the first two columns, but let's consider this column here, this record. So I want to subtract this date minus the order date. How many days there's a difference between delivery or shipping and ordering? So we write a function, ship date minus order date. It's difficult. As I said in Power Query, you don't have to write function. Select the bigger date column, control click smaller date column. Select bigger date, that is shipping date, control click smaller date column, and subtract days. So the difference between this date is 20 days. If you calculate, you'll be getting this difference as 20 days.
I'm interrupting.
Yeah, please.
I joined a little bit late. I suppose I missed. Now, this Power Query editor, is it a part of Microsoft Excel 19?
2016, 2019, by default, you'll get it.
So I mean, the corporate has these kind of software inbuilt. Huh? You don't have to.
Inbuilt. No, you don't have to purchase, buy, nothing license required, no need to install, download anything. In 2016, 2019, it has come by default.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we haven't come across these functions
I
in our
know.
daily operations.
I understand. I do train on companies. People go for difficult softwares. Trust me, it can do wonders. Power Query, um, and it's
Yes,
very
it's
easy.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yes. Let's see. Now, let's say if I want to find out which, I just want to find out year, quarter, month, or day. 4 options I'm giving you. We write a function in Excel, year of date. I mean, quarter of date. Many functions we write. Here, quickly, I'll give you 4 answers. How to find out year, quarter, month, and day. Select this column, date, year, and click on year. I've got the year option. Again, order date. Now I'll select month. I'll get the month. Again, I'll select. So year I've shown you, month I've shown you. Then I want to find out which quarter it belongs to. So I'll get the quarters. And same way, I can select that column, which week of the year it is or which week of the month it is. It can quickly give you. Or if I select day option, I can tell you which day it is. Okay, so I have to keep on scrolling on the right and you're not able to, quickly verify the answers. So for time being, what I'll do is, if you allow me, I'll just right click and remove other columns. I'll right click on the first column and remove other columns. So we can focus on the answers quickly. Okay. So it's plain now, clean. Anytime I can come back and I can just delete this step. So we'll get all the columns. So just for a training purpose, I've just cleared it. Coming back.
So can you just come with the quarter, suppose order date, then
Yeah.
you go to the date.
Remove other columns. Yeah. Quarter, sorry.
So if I want to find the quarter.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And
Right.
then you get the quarter.
Yes, I'll get the quarter. So 9, this one is easy to understand. 15/11, 1985, it belongs to fourth quarter. 10/3 belongs to first quarter.
No, I suppose they have taken a calendar year.
Calendar year, yes.
Yeah, it's not a financial year.
We can modify that without coding. We can modify that thing.
Is it possible here?
Yeah, possible. It is possible. I hope others don't get confused. I'll show it later on because we have to go off track. But yes, 2 button clicks and you'll get the answer. You have tried something little. Yes. Okay, coming back. Now I want to find out month name, January, February. I want the text. I don't want month 1, 2, 3, 4. I want name of the month. I don't want day 8, 9, 10, 11, but I want Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And many more options are there. I want to find out how many days are there in the month. I'm going here and there, whichever is relevant to you, please ask me. So if I want to find out how many days are there in the month, 29 days, 31 days, I can just click on this days in a month. Quickly, I'll get the answers. So trying to convey you the message, 25 date functions, 20 text functions, 30 number functions, just using button clicks. No need to write coding. Number one, it is automated process, complete automation. Okay, coming back. Now I think we can solve that, quarter question which you said. So in India or financial year, we can say fourth is the third quarter. Yeah, I'll select the option quarters and select quarter of the year. So I'll just rename calendar quarter. Now we want a separate quarter for Indian financial year. So a very simple technique I'll use. If it is 2, then it is first quarter. If it is 3, then it is second quarter. 4 is third quarter. 1 is, in Excel, we write if else function, if else. Same if else function can be done here. Add column, conditional column. Add column, conditional column, and see the steps are very simple. Financial quarter. If calendar quarter, that's a column name, equals to 4, that means it is first quarter. Add. If calendar quarter equals to 3, it is the second quarter.
Calendar quarter is 4, then the quarter is 3.
Sorry, sir. My mistake. Yes. 4, 3, 2. I'll write as 3, 2, 1, correct. And here I have to write as 4. No, I am making a mistake. Just hold on, please. 4, it is 3. If it is
3 is 2. 2 is 1.
Otherwise, give me 4.
Yeah, and then 1. Actually, last one will be 4.
Yes. So I have written else condition here. Else condition 4. Here at the bottom, I've written else 4.
Yeah.
And I'll click on OK. So if you verify, first quarter is actually fourth quarter in financial terms. Third quarter is the second.
Correct.
And if you want, you can add a prefix, like we'll add a Q, just Q1, Q2. So transform, in transform anywhere. So we have this text functions. Prefix, suffix comes in text functions. So add a prefix and I'll just type Q. Q stands for quarter. So, and click on OK. Yeah. So I don't think now I require second column and I'll just remove that option. Home menu bar, close and load. So these are like very simple functions in Power Query. very simple functions in Power Query. And same way, same story again. If the data or date changes, then at the backend value will change. And there are many things. By the way, there are 800 M functions. 800. M stands for mashup. Mashup is actually a word for cleanup, because Power Query is a ETL tool which is used for cleaning data. Done. Number functions, very simple, but let's see number functions. I'll just double click on number functions. Right. I have numerical columns like sales, quantity, discount, and profit. I'll just do a multiplication addition of these columns. Nothing great in this. Again, the same story. Keep your cursor in the data menu bar, and click on from table. So it took data into Power Query. We are again doing ETL, extracting data into Power Query. I want to, multiply sales into quantity into discount. Just multiplication, simple multiplication, sales into quantity into discount. Rather than writing functions, why not go to add column menu bar? This is the add column menu bar, and we'll spend some few minutes on this section, that is number section. And I have this standard. We have ready-made functions like add and multiply. So you see all three columns have been multiplied. Let's cross check any one answer. 10,000 into 2 is 20,000. 20,000, 40% becomes 8,000. So I should rename the column as total sales. But there's a problem here. This is the sales. If I multiply sales 14 point into some 2 number, I should get around 29. But 29 multiplied by 0 discount, it's giving me 0 value. So actually it should be 1 minus discount. 1 minus discount. So what I can do is I have to, click on this. Suppose I have written the function, and if I want to change anything, there's a small settings button. I usually call it as a settings button. So I can just click on this settings button, and this will open a window where actually backend formula was written. So I'll just write as 1 minus discount. That's it. Okay. And I've got the answer. Renaming columns. So same way, addition, multiplication, you can quickly find out. Now let's talk about this total sales column. I don't think much is required. Let's talk about profit column. So I'll remove other columns for time being, just for simplicity. There are some negative numbers in this column. You see this minus 383, minus 123. My question is, if I want to quickly find out which are negative and which are positive. So I have the option as information sign. Sign will give you 3 answers: -1, +1, and 0. -1 for negative, +1 for positive, and 0 for 0 numbers. So wherever -1 is there, those are negative or loss. So if I want, I can just click on this drop down and deselect -1, click on OK. So those negative numbers have been removed if required. Otherwise, I can just delete the step. And there are some other functions which are like important, not so important. Number functions are easy here. Okay, I'll click on close and load. But just a feedback from you. How do you find now Power Query? Will you be able to do it? I mean, if you look here and there, will you be able to get the answers? No coding. Yes.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean,
yes.
In fact, we were not aware of this.
Yes. Right.
Like to...
Yes.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Now, now I'll show you a magic here. Magic in the sense, not magic, it's a Power Query. I'm just a medium to show you. I have 100 Excel tables, 100 Excel tables, 100 Excel sheets, 100 SQL tables, or any data source. How to append those one below the other in 3 button clicks? One below the other, that is known as appending. Appending data set. Great. I have this file named as append sheets or tables from the same file. Just name I've given so you can quickly find out that. This file is having 3 sheets. I've kept data very small. 3 sheets are there, 1, 2, and 3. Carefully observe, all those 3 file or 3 sheets are having different column names and different number of columns. Amount and account. I have account and amount 1. See, there was amount, here it is amount 1. And third sheet, account and amount. So the question is, I want to append into one separate table. It can be 100 tables also. Control N, I'll create a new file. Data menu bar, till now I have shown you this from table. But in Excel, you can pull data from you can pull data from 20 plus data sources, 20. Like Excel, CSV, XML, or SQL, or Facebook, or website. So I'll click on get data from workbook, and the file is kept into some location. You need not worry which location right now. It's in the LinkedIn local, and I have this append tables. Click on import. When I import the file, it's not getting opened because when the file is open, you cannot import the data. Yeah. So I'll repeat the steps. Get data from file from workbook. I have this append tables or sheets. I'll select multiple options. Carefully observe. It depends upon you. Do you want to append tables? These 3 are tables and these 3 are sheets. Whichever you want, you can pick up. Suggestion is always go for tables. Always go for tables. So I'll select those 3 tables. Okay, 3 tables. You can like this select 100 tables and click on transform data. Remember, we are doing ETL again. I'm repeating for people who are new to this. ETL, extracting, and then we are transforming the. I'll click on transform data. Once you click on transform, Power Query Editor will open. It's like your macro, VBA, anything you name it. All on the left hand side, these are 3 different tables. When you bring data into Power Query, those are known as queries. Those are known as queries. They are no more named as tables, sheets, or anything. Remember, those are known as queries. Now, here I have the option as append queries as new. Append queries as new. Then I have purposely I've kept 3 or more tables. So I'll select 3 or more tables here. On the right hand side, April is there. So I should select May and June. And click on OK. That's it. The final output I have got here is append 1. It's a new query created. And that's it. I've got the answer. The number of records are 385. Close and load. Close and load. So this is the append 1, 385 records. And here, these are the 4 columns. Wherever you see that nothing is there, that means in that respective file, there was nothing, null values. So when you scroll down, you should get the values here. You see? Right. Now, how many records are there? If you see 385. 385. What I'll do is I'll go to that file, delete, or let's say add some records. I'll add some records. I'll go to that file. Here. What I'll do is I will just go to any sheet here. In the last cell, I'll add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'll write as Siddharth. 100 and 200. Save this file, close this file. The answer I'm expecting is 386. See the number How to refresh the data? There are many methods. Easy method is right click and refresh. That's the first method. Second method is right click and refresh. Third method is right click here and refresh. So refresh, you have to observe number of records should change to 386. That's one example of appending sheets or tables from the same file. Right.
So you're trying to do all the changes in the Power Query, and then the same gets stored in your Excel file also.
Yes. Yes. Power Query is just a place where polishing is done of data, but Power Query doesn't store any data inside it. You get data from some other data source, and you have to push data into Excel. If not, there will be a connection, but it doesn't occupy much space. Power Query. This was 3 tables. I mean Excel sheets or Excel tables we have seen. Now comes the main topic here. Fifth file is append CSV file. I have 14 files in this folder. How many? 14 files. I want to append now files, not the sheets, CSV files. How to append those in 3 button clicks? 14 files in 3 button clicks. Okay, let's see that. So let's say I'll open a blank Excel file on my machine, on my laptop, and I'll just copy the path of this file. I'll just copy the path of that folder. 14 files, copy. Before I copy, I need to show you what is there inside. Let me open any one column, any one file. It's a CSV file. CSV is comma separated values. I have a date column, account, department, and some number, sum of amount. There are some errors. Purposely, I kept the errors in this. So I'll close this file. And how many records are there? Approximately 2000 records, I can say, in per file. Done. So step number 1, as I said, 3 button clicks. Copy the data, copy the path of that folder. Step number 2, get data, not CSV, but from folder. So whatever data you have in that folder would be, copy pasted here. I mean, Control V and click on OK. If there are 100, 200, 500 files, it will be shown here. So these are all 14 files, and these are name of the files. So now many methods are there. Let me give you the fastest method. Assuming the data is clean, actually data is not clean. So I'll just click on combine and load button. Combine and load. What will happen? First of all, it will combine, and directly it will load into Power Query into Excel. Combine and load. And one question it will ask me, this question, which file should be the master file or sample file? So we right now nothing to be required. Just click on OK. So this is the data which you'll be getting very soon. And if I click on this first column, source name, and you see all the files are kept here. I'm still not sure whether the answer is correct or not, but let's verify. In those 5 files, 31,000 records were there. Oh, sorry. On those 14 files, 31,000 records, and some errors were there. Suppose next month, my colleague came and he just pasted one file in this folder. Okay. So I'll just right click and copy and again paste. So this is a copy of file. Now I have 15 files in this folder. 15. So let me go and cross check. This number 31,000 should change now. Right click, refresh. this can be fixed. This errors can be fixed if I, clean the data properly. But I'm trying to say the topic is appending CSV files in 3 button clicks. All right. I'll close this. Don't save. So this is an automated process. One time you do the setting, it will be done. VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP. You might be working on VLOOKUP, so I have a question for you. I'll open this file. Yeah, that's the file here. I have 2 tables, and you have to help me to get the answer. One change I need to do here. Okay, no changes. So the question here is, and please help me with the answer. What is your thinking on that? I have 2 tables. One is lookup table and second is sales table. In both the tables, there are 3 common columns: product, region, and product type. 3 common columns: region, product group, and product. So now what I'm expecting is, I want this discount column to be written here, or the entire discount column should come here. So what I'll do in future, I'll tell you, I want to multiply sales into discount and get the answers quickly. You use a VLOOKUP thing in Excel or any tool, you use different methods. How much time would you require to get the answer? Anyone? 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes? And how much time would be required? Are you there, everyone?
Yeah, it should take 10 minutes if we
10
look.
minutes. Yeah.
Less than that. Want to transfer this discount file to the sales table by using this VLOOK. So VLOOK command and then your
Difficult, right? I mean, straight away I can say difficult. First, you have to think about the logic and the formula. 3 columns, very difficult. 3 button clicks, 4 button clicks, and you'll get the answers. 4 button clicks. How to do that? I'll do it 2 times because it's very important. I'll do it twice. Number 1, I have to give you some information that the name of the table here is, I want you to remember the name of the table. The name of the table is lookup table. Okay, this table name is lookup table and this name is sales table. Okay, these 2 things you have to remember. Done. I'll create a new file and close this existing file. So data menu bar, get data from file, from workbook. And then the files are kept into some folder named as LinkedIn local. And I have this merge query, merge table. I'm not going to use a VLOOKUP, no formula. Click on import. From that file, there were many sheets and many tables. I am interested only in 2 tables, sales table and lookup table. Sales table and lookup table. So I will just click on, where should I click on? Yeah, let's say I'll just click on load to button. What will happen if I click on transform? It will take me to Power Query, no doubt. From Power Query, if I click on load button, then it will come to Excel. What I'm doing is I'm bypassing that Power Query and just clicking on load to button. Load to will create, give me some options like, do you want a table, etc., etc. I'll select, I don't want table, nothing. I just want a connection. And okay. So if you observe, I have created a connection of, okay, it should come as loaded. It should come as connection. Did I do something wrong? Okay, but you cannot see the tables here. Nothing is there in this sheet. Okay, just try to bring a connection. Now, VLOOKUP is known as merge queries in Power Query. VLOOKUP is known as merge queries in Power Query. I'll click on merge button and select sales from the top and from the bottom lookup table. Sales from the top and lookup table from the bottom. So the hint, or I can say the best practice is always pick up transactional table on the top. Sales is a transactional table, and here only the values are kept there. So transactional table should be on the top and lookup is at the bottom. The question is, I want discount column here. Discount column I want here. So by default, the type of join is selected as left outer join. Okay. And the OK button is disabled. So you ignore this for some time. OK button is disabled. So what I'll do is, why it is disabled? Because you have not created relation between those two files, two tables. How to create relation? Select the common columns in a proper sequence. First region, then group, then product. When I select, there are small numbers which are displayed. There are very small numbers which are displayed, 3, 2, 1. Now, what I'll do is, I will just again click on same sequence. First, I'll select region from the bottom table, then product type, and then product. So this 3 should match with this 3. There is a product. Okay, no problem. Now I'll just click on OK button. Remember, this is sales table. Fourth column is sales, and name of the table is lookup table. I'll click on OK. When I do that, I'm getting 5 columns. Usually in sales table, there were 4 columns. So this is a sales table. And what is this lookup table? In VLOOKUP, you get the output only one column. Here in Power Query, as many columns you want, you can take. If I click on this expand button, I'm getting all the columns in that table. All the columns, there were 4 columns. So I only wanted discount. I'll just select the discount column and deselect every other checkbox and click on OK. That's the answer. The only time required was for explanation, but actually the steps are very, very easy. Okay, I've got the answer. Yeah.
The question is, why did you realign things in the lookup table while doing these kind of merging? Now, even since after this merge command, you selected some of the product columns. I mean, some of the columns as per
Correct.
your wish.
Correct.
So why that kind of realignment was needed while before merging it?
Yes. What happens in if you apply a VLOOKUP function, VLOOKUP, you remember lookup value we write equal to VLOOKUP. The first parameter is lookup value.
Correct.
So using that lookup value, I'm trying to create relation with my master table, the first table. Here, if there are multiple matching columns, I have to tell them which column is matching with what. So this region column is matching with this region column. Otherwise, if I don't define the relation, how will it come to know that how will it come to know that this product group should match with which column? Because there's no product group here anywhere. You see, there is product type.
Well, then tell me, I mean, how you're matching it? I mean, how you're creating that relation? That
Okay. How I'm creating that? Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll just discard and do it again. So first of all, I brought the tables. Then I clicked on some button here that is combine queries, merge table. From the top, I selected transactional table and lookup table. How did I create relation? Press Control and click any columns. First table you select in any sequence, no problem. Using Control, click.
Mm-hmm.
Same sequence. If you select region first, at the bottom you select region first. Using Control, click. On the top, I have selected product group. Actually, purposely I've given different name. Product type is given. So I'll select product type, control click. And third one, product.
So you're trying to make a group here.
Yes, grouping, not grouping, but matching the columns.
Okay.
That the
That
data.
you are using by using control command. How you
Yes,
doing it?
yes,
Control.
yes. Control click. And before I get the answers, before I load the table, it's giving me how many records are matching. How many records are matching here. So on the spot, it is trying to give you the answers. So yeah, I'll just click on OK. So VLOOKUP gives you one column at a time answer. Power Query, in Power Query merge will give you all the columns, and whichever you want, you can select.
Just a basic question
Yeah, yeah.
about VLOOKUP. Now, if what are the criterias for a VLOOKUP? Because I was just trying to filter some data. The data was there were 5 columns, which is somewhere completely alphabets, and the other one were numeric. And of course, I did not use any trim command. It was data from the team, and then I wanted to search some data through VLOOK. Now, when I created a command VLOOK, and then I mean it was showing not applicable, NA sort of command. I
Okay.
didn't know. Is there any criteria before before giving a VLOOK command, whether you have to trim the data or do some checks uh, to uh, to create the right command, I would say.
Yeah. So let's say this is a table, a simple table, and there's a sales column here. I'll type Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday here. I want the sales value here. So I'll use a function equal to VLOOKUP, lookup value,
Yeah.
comma, table array,
Right.
comma, 2, comma, 0.
2 is the second column, that is
Yes,
K column, and
K
then
column.
0.
0. 0 is for exact match. I'll press enter. So I'm getting the value 10. But if I type here Jan, obviously Jan, JAN is not present in the entire column. So when I
No.
press enter, NA, not available or not available, yes.
And the VLOOK has there is some constraint regarding any number of columns. What I've seen that the column, I mean, like for example, Monday, probably the I column. Is there some restriction in the column part that
Mm,
only fixed number of data, fixed number of column can be looked upon by taking, I mean, by using the command VLOOK, something like that?
no, you can use as many columns you have.
Okay.
There's no limit in that.
And any kind of trimming which is required? Nothing of that sort?
That depends on data, definitely. That depends on data. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. However, if you want to learn more about VLOOKUP, that's a VLOOKUP videos I have. I have approximately 5,000 videos on YouTube, 100 on Excel, 100 on VBA, 100 on Power Query. So all are free kept on YouTube. So
In fact, I went through this first video of
uh,
it looks to be a little bit simpler. So even I tried that while using your video and setting some examples, it was going well.
okay.
But when I tried to capture data from my whatever data I have got with me, I was not able to get that. It was again showing NA. I don't know what was the reason.
Okay. Maybe some thing has to be.
Or somewhere, if there is a gap, if there is data is blank, then the VLOOK will not work between lots of data which you have got, something like that.
Um,
If there are 10 rows and one row is blank, then the
that
VLOOK
I
will not
have
be
to check.
sufficient.
Verbally, it's difficult to tell, but once I see the data, I can work out on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Please carry
Okay.
on.
So yeah. So these are the videos. I've sent the link in the chat window. You can refer those.
Sure.
Okay. Coming back to the topic, that was NA, and this is VLOOKUP instead of VLOOKUP, I would suggest go for merge queries. Merge queries is a part of Power Query. Right. And that's the last exercise we have. Yeah, is it okay, right? Should I go a bit level of difficulty, because I have some good example kept into this append Excel files. So if you allow me, if you are fine with that, append Excel files. This is 8-9 button clicks, but it is still easy as compared to Excel. Yes. Just to ask you every now and then, so that I come to know that yes, you're listening. Okay, so append Excel files. Append Excel files. This is the topic here. Why I have taken this topic? This might be useful. I'll try to draw. I'm not good into that drawing. So I have kept a folder. Okay, this is a folder which I have, and in that folder, I have many files in that folder. Okay, so what files I have? Let's say I have Excel files, I have CSV files, a PDF file, and a Word document. Okay, these 4 files I have. So here I'll write just for you Excel. Okay, now in that Excel file, there are different type of sheets available. One is sheets. I'll write as SHEET, sheets. Second, I have tables, and third, I have, let's say, range, name range are there. So this is a CSV. Very bad CSV, and then we have a PDF file, etc. So the question here is, in that folder, I only want Excel. In that Excel, I only want all the tables to be appended. Okay, that's the question here. So ignore the garbage data, ignore the sheets and all the other files. Give me only tables from those Excel files. So similar structured data I have kept here into this folder. The name of the folder is append Excel files. Here, if you observe, these are the 4 Excel files, 1 notepad, 1 PDF, 1 PowerPoint. For me, this is garbage right now. And this is the actual, cream data which I want to work with. If I open any one file, okay, if you observe, all the files are same size. Purposely I've kept it. Let me open any one file, South Sales. In that South Sales, there are 3 sheets. 3 sheets, and per sheet is having 1 table. 3 sheets and 3 tables in one file. 3 sheets, 3 tables in one file. So can you please tell me total how many tables are in this folder? A quick question, how many tables and how many sheets? Three tables and 3 sheets per file. So entire folder has how many sheets? No? 36. No, not 36. I'll tell you again. I'll repeat the topic here. So yeah, this file is having 3 tables and 3 sheets. So total how many? 6. Here also I should get 6, 6, and then 6. So 4 into 4 files are there, 4 Excel files. 6 into 4, I should get 24. What is this 24? There are 12 tables and there would be 12 Excel sheets. So total 24. Okay, total 24. No problem. Now let's try to get the answer here. I'll just copy the path. Same story again. I'll copy the path and open a fresh Excel file. There are 8 steps, 8 button clicks, but easy. Data menu bar, get data, and from folder. Data menu bar, get data, and from folder. So I'll paste the path of that folder and click on OK. One thing you have to notice that this data is not clean, and I cannot directly click on combine because it has some garbage data like text and PDF and etc. So I have to take it to Power Query to clean the data. I'll click on transform data. If you observe, you can easily tell me there are 7 files. How do I filter only Excel files? Only Excel files by using this extension column. One method is you click on the drop down and select all Excel one by one. Not a right method. Better is you deselect all the other and keep only Excel SX. And okay. So I have 4 Excel files. Whatever steps I'm doing, you have to keep a watch here side by side. All the steps would be recorded as a macro file. Step number 2, out of all the columns, there are only 3 important columns. I'll tell you what are those. Only 2 important columns. These 2 are important. Because this is not important, date modified, date accessed, date created in this case right now. In future, you might find it useful, but so I'll just remove other columns. Keep those 2 columns and remove other columns. Now, if you see in this, the data is kept into this column. That is the contained column. Remember the name contained column and binary, binary, binary. Actually, this is the full data which is kept here. So when I click here on binary, you can see it's not sales 28, some bytes are given, 28K bytes. How to extract data from that column? So one simple function I have to write, add column, custom column. That's the first time I'm showing you how to write a function. Add column, custom column. One simple formula, excel.workbook. This is M function. M stands for mashup. Mashup is a alternative term for cleanup. Cleanup is used in Power Query. There it is case sensitive. E capital, W capital. First alphabet of every word would be capital. Open bracket and double click on contained. This contained and name are the name of the columns. And I'm getting here no syntax errors. I'll just click on OK. So this will extract all the structural data and bring into new column here. Now from here it is very simple. Just button click, 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 and you'll get the answers. Expand and click on OK. I'll remove this prefix option. Otherwise, unnecessary prefix would be there. And OK. I exactly don't know what is the data. Okay, I'm confused. But if you remember the number 24. 24 was 12 tables and 12 sheets. 12 tables and 12 sheets. So now I have to find out a way, by which I can just filter only tables. So there's a column named as kind column. I'll just click on the drop down and deselect this sheet and just keep only table. Cancel. You see, only this column will help us to understand whether it's a table or a sheet. So click on the drop down and select only table. Now I'm on the track. Okay, so these are 12 records. If you see 12 tables. Now, if you observe, out of all the columns, there are 3 important columns which should be kept: file name, table name, and actual data. File name, table name, and actual data. Why I'm keeping my cursor on actual data? Because you see something is hidden in this column. You see that's a double-headed arrow. So I should keep that column because data is kept there. So keep those 3 columns and remove other columns. Now, if I click on this double-headed arrow, these are the column names, actual data column names, and click on OK. So this is your answer, and the values are given as 999 plus records. So it never gives you, the full number of records in that data. Okay, how many records are there? You'll not come to know. How do I cross-check then whether the answer is correct or not? So transform menu bar, and we have an option of counting rows quickly. So I'll click on count rows, and it's giving me number. How much is the number? 1540. So This step will delete very soon, but just for your understanding purpose, 1540 is the total number of records in all those 12 tables and 4 files. Let us cross check. Next month, my manager comes and he just pastes one more file in this folder, or he has asked me to analyze this data also. So I'll copy that Excel file and I'll just paste Control V. Okay. So remember the number was 1540. That was the number 1540. When I go to home menu bar and click on refresh all, or if I click on this button, and you see 1925 is the number of records. Okay. So whenever a new file comes, you don't have to do all the steps once again. You have to just refresh, refresh, refresh. And at any point of time, you get stuck. You don't know what steps are followed. So you can click here on the source. You remember the first step was source. We brought all the source. Then we clicked on filtered. Then we removed other columns. Then we added a custom column. And definitely won't remember the function. What is the function? So any point of time, you can click on this small settings button to understand what was the function written. So the first time you're getting a macro where you can, modify, edit without keyboard, then expand, then filter and other things. Now I can just click on close and load, right? Close and load button will give you the table. But if I click on close and load to button, now this would be interesting. I can get into a table or I can create a pivot table report and click on OK. So I brought the data as a connection, modified, transferred, appended, and I'm just creating an output as pivot table. So I'll pick up here a name column into rows and name into values. Or I'll pick up name into rows and let's say amount into values. So that's the actual amount from each file. Each amount from file, all those files. Now, anything changes in the file, it will update. One more file, I'll just copy, right click, copy, Control V, I'll paste the file. And here I can just right click, refresh. Okay. So this is lengthy in sense, purposely I've kept it lengthy. Steps are extra, button clicks, but very easy. Okay. Should I repeat this? Are you able to get it? However, if you still get stuck at some point, we have this video also recorded separately. There are only hardly 10 videos on YouTube. This is the file. Yes. Yeah. So I've kept the same example for your easiness. And whatever I'm drawing here very badly, I have tried to do it in a nice and proper format here. Yeah. So this one also, I'll send you the link. Chat window. Okay. I'll be uploading the video very soon. I'll just edit the video and upload it on this platform. I have a YouTube channel recently started. So there are some videos which is kept here. So you can search my name, Pavan Lalwani, and here I'll modify the video and upload here very soon. Within 2 days, you'll get it here. Yes, this was the small examples I've taken. Now let's see a real case study, the real case study here. That's a case study. The question is how to find out the working days, 8 topics, 8 file. This year there are many holidays. So we have a column here. Yeah. The question is written here on the blank line. Find only dates excluding holidays and weekends. This is the most famous question people try to find out. How to find out only dates excluding holidays and weekends. Holidays and weekends. So here's the question. Here's the data. This is the master data where the data is very small. How many records are there? If you count this number of records are 15. So 15 dates are there. Out of this 15 dates, there are 3 holidays. Okay, 11, 16, and 22nd September. I have purpose written as H1, H2, H3 holiday. So what I want, first of all, I want to remove the Saturdays, Sundays. And also I want to subtract this data. And I want the answer here. So I'll just delete this table. Okay. So that's the output I'm looking for. I'll delete everything and create from scratch. Just a second. Yes. So first of all, this we are looking into Power Query. So step number 1, first one will take into Power Query and will remove all the Saturdays, Sundays. Keep your cursor in the data and click on From Table. Why? When do we use From Table? When you have the data in the same Excel file and it's in the form of a table. First of all, I'll convert into date data type. I find it easy. I find it easy to convert. So I do this regularly. Now, how to remove the Saturdays, Sundays? I don't know the formula, but I know the function. Add a column, date, add column menu bar, date, and I'll find out name of the day. What will happen? This will give me the everything, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I can just filter from this drop down and remove Saturday, Sunday. And remove Saturday, Sunday. So if I have 15 records, when I click on OK button, I'm getting 11 records. You see the number, 11 records I'm getting. So I don't require this column anymore. So I can just right click and remove that column. So I use that column, did my stuff, and I just removed that column. So very fast, very quick. The name of the table is calendar 1. The name of the query is calendar_1, calendar table _1. And you can see the queries on the left hand side. I'll just click on close and load to. Close and load to and only create connection. Because if I bring a table unnecessary, why to bring that? I'll just create a connection. Okay, that's the last exercise. Please see here. Second one, I'll also load this table, data menu bar from table. And I have loaded this table into Power Query. I'll convert into date, add new step. So these are 2 tables now. So this is the main important step. The question is, I only want data which is kept into this table, but not into this table. So this is the table. These are 2 tables. So I only want data which is kept into the left table, but it should not match with the other right table, neither the common or the right. Okay, so I have to use a join type. Joins. Merge queries as new. It's like VLOOKUP. I'm using a VLOOKUP function similar to that. And from the top, I'll select transactional table, that is calendar 1. From the bottom, holiday table. First of all, the OK button is disabled. Why? Because I have not created relation. To create a relation, select the date column and the OK button is enabled. But here comes the step. The step is I should select this one. If you don't know the join, but you can see what is written in the bracket. In bracket, it says rows only in first table. Rows only in first table. That is left anti-join. People who know SQL, Oracle, they can understand easily. However, it's written in the bracket for easiness. Rows only in the first table, not from the second table. So I'll select that. And before I click on OK, Power Query is so smart. It has given me the answers already. You see this 11 is given here 11 and 16 is also matching with 16. So I think this two records it is quickly able to find out. No problem. I'll just click on OK button. Out of 11, the output I'll be getting as 9 records. You see 9 records. Then I can just delete the second column, not required. This is the final output I want. And this is the without weekends and holidays. That's it. Close and load button. And I've got the output here. Now let us cross check. Suppose in sheet 1 or in this date data, today is what I think today is 15th of April. Suppose if I add 11th April and 10th April, I'll add 2 dates. In this data, I'll add, so what I did is I'll just add the date here, 15/4, which is given. So instead of that, I'll add 11th of April, which I said was 11th of April and 10th of April. 10/04/2020. So these 2 dates I've added here. Yeah. So when I go to this sheet 1, I should get 11 records, not 12 records. So let's see when I right click and refresh. See the backend number of records should be 11, not 12. Yeah, you see 11 records. So 10th is added, but not 11th. So this way, one more, if you want, I'll add instead of 10, 10th, 11. Yeah. If I add here 12/04/2020, if I refresh, nothing should happen. Yeah. If I right click, refresh, nothing should happen because it's on Sunday. So this is Power Query, automated process using button clicks. That's the last example.